and welcome to Finding the... I was just singing some Let It Go with Little Miss Maggie. It was amazing. I feel like I met a celebrity. And we have Emily Zanotti here with us tonight. The Emily Zanotti. Do you know how excited I am? She is just, oh my gosh, so amazing. I have so many questions. You guys have so many questions, and we're going to get into all of them here on Finding the Faith. Make sure that you hit that like button. And if you're new here, I want to give you a special welcome. Hopefully, by the end of this episode, you will have hit the subscribe button, because every week we dive into a new faith journey, get to learn about our brothers and sisters in Christ, and have some good, fun, Christian fellowship time. It's a vibe. I am so excited to welcome Emily Zanotti. How are you doing tonight, Emily?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited. Oh, your kids are just the cutest.
They're going to make a guest. Well, here we go. All right. Ready? One.
Hi.
Go eat pizza.
There's pizza.
I bribed them with pizza to not be on the show tonight, so we'll see.
Gatekeeping. I'm just kidding. Sorry, my inner nanny's coming out. So to dive into the earliest memories, what are some of your earliest memories of religion?
So I've been Catholic growing up my whole life. I'm raised Italian Catholic, so my first memories were of weddings and funerals and smells and bells and all the good stuff. And I really feel like my earliest memories really were all of the big events and the Christmas parties and pageants that I did as a little kid. And it kind of set the tone for how I handle the joy of religion, growing up and with my kids now.
That's really awesome. So when it came to doing pageants, did you have any parts? Which one was your favorite to play?
I was an angel.
I can see it.
I was ever in. I was an angel, and I had a tinsel crown, and I still remember it. It's all coming back to me now.
That's awesome. I always I would watch those Christmas movies growing up, and I always wanted to be a part of a Christmas pageant, but we didn't have those. So I'm hoping for my children's sake that we find my children's sake. I have them. There's something I'm secretly keeping from my audience. I'm sorry, guys. False alarm.
It's okay. That for me, that was the most exciting thing about them being in Catholic school. So we just started them in Catholic school this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I found out that there's a pre-K Christmas pageant, and I'm beside myself. This is all I want in life, is to go to a pre-K and just have my kids just mess it up. They were asking me what I would want my kids to be in this Christmas pageant. I was supposed to answer, Jesus, Mary, Joseph. And I'm no, they're definitely barnyard animals or shepherds, and they're just going to mess, that's it. Yeah.
I remember one time I was in a production of Peter Pan when I was their age, somewhere in, because obviously they're all different ages. And they had to invent extra, I don't know if they're called Indians or Native Americans. I'm watching Longmire right now. They call them Indians, so I'm just going to go with that. And I'll be canceled tomorrow. It's fine. And they had to make up an extra Indian just for me. And so I was Dolphin, Silver Lake or something. They're sorry, you didn't make the call, but you get to pick your own name.
You can pick your own name. It's fine. I was Love Actually, where they're there were 3 lobsters at the birth of Christ. Obviously.
Oh. So growing up as a Christian, when did you truly accept Jesus into your life as someone who grew up in the faith? And what did that look like for you?
So for me, I actually kind of fell away in high school, college. I went to a Catholic college at the Felician Mother House, so with a lot of nuns. I don't know why my dog is barking.
It's all good. He has commentary.
I'm on a meeting, so. So I went to school with a lot of nuns, and it didn't really do anything for me. And then I got to Ave Maria School of Law, so I actually was immersed in the faith there. It was part of every day. Every class started with a prayer. There was a chapel on site where I could go to mass every day. There was something there, and everybody that I met was just this incredible Christian, and they were living the faith. And I think that was
Yeah.
what struck me more than anything, is that growing up in the faith, you kind of take it for granted because
Mhm.
you're going through the motions. Everyone's Italian. Everyone does this on Christmas Eve, and you give up something for Lent. It's just going
Yeah.
through the motions. But then I met these people who were like really living what it meant to be a Christian, and that's when it started to all turn around and change for me.
That's really wonderful. Those people make such a huge impact. And I'm really grateful to have a lot of them in my life and in chat tonight. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Miss Melody. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Whiskey. Hey, Annie. Annie's tuning in all the way from Australia. It's an entire continent, so I don't think I doxed her. So, as you've grown in your faith, what mentors or circumstances really helped?
So I've been really moved by female saints. You know, as Catholics
Mhm.
have saints that are models of how to live the Catholic life throughout history. And so to look at their writings and look at how they live and look at what it means to be called by God to do something,
Yeah.
that's been part of my life. And as you get closer into the 20th century, more of
Mhm.
these saints are mothers, more of them are writers, more of them are living lives that look like mine. And
Yeah.
so for me, that's really what I look to when I'm trying to think about what is my life like, what is following Jesus look like in my life. It's as best as I can get the lives of
Yeah.
great Christian women.
They're so impactful. I've really been enjoying Saint of the Day. Yeah, that's been one of my favorite resources lately because even though I'm not necessarily Catholic, they're still so helpful regardless of where you fall as a Christian, like denomination wise.
Yeah.
So, I actually totally abused that website pretty much. I was just like, just give me all you have when I set up my Saint to the my All Saints Day episode, which was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I love anything I can get my hands on about the saints, what they wrote, and then modern female Catholic thinkers. I mean, we always kind of
Yeah.
overlook them, but there were some that were like hanging out with C.S. Lewis and smoking cigars with them, just and living alongside them. And so for me, it's just great to see that there are women who are contributors to the church who are living these lives, and it's
Absolutely.
an inspiration.
Do you have a favorite saint?
Um, I would say Saint Teresa Benedicta of the Cross. That is Saint Edith Stein.
Oh,
Is a 20th century saint, and she actually died in the Holocaust. So
wow.
she's an incredible woman, an incredible model, but then also an incredible writer and thinker. And her writings are just really inspirational and great, and they often get to the core of what it means to be a woman of faith. So it's really great.
That's amazing. I'm definitely going to have to check that out. In chat, they've also been learning about Saints of the Day, and they've been learning about a lot of saints. So they've really been enjoying that. Hey, girl. How are you?
Oh, she ran away.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sure she'll come back later when she feels like it. Now, how does Roman Catholicism... Hey, guys. So we just had a little tech glitch here, but it's okay. She'll probably be right back. Until then, let's talk about... Oh, let's look at some of the comments. You will be having children, Freda. I pray for you and Kyle every morning to be so blessed. Thank you so much, Nancy. That means so much to me. And also, welcome Miss Melody, who's finally here to be able to catch you live. I'm so excited you're here. That's awesome. That's why I moved to Tuesday nights. So I love seeing new faces. I love seeing OG faces. And Emily's back, guys.
I'm
Hey,
back. My children unplugged my phone.
it's all
Really
good.
sorry. Sorry. I knew it was
Life,
gonna happen. I'm glad
life
that
is always lifing. You're a mother. Like, no big. Now, how does Roman Catholicism differ from other types of Catholicism? I did a little real video on it earlier. Is he okay?
He's fine. He was just doing
Okay.
your dinosaur war for the audience.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank him for that. I
So
appreciate that.
we do this all the time.
That's the thing that I have trouble differentiating with like new kids that are, in my sphere. I'm like, are you good? Okay, you're doing
fine. He's making sure everyone knows that he knows how to row her like a dinosaur. So
that's amazing.
Congratulations. You all have been inducted into whatever. You're part of my family now. Welcome.
I feel honored. And also, that is an amazing dinosaur impression.
Well, in terms of Roman Catholicism and Eastern Catholicism and Orthodox Catholicism, Roman Catholicism is probably the one that when you think Catholic, we have the Pope, we have Vatican City, we have everything that you might think of when you think of being Catholic. So we are Western Christians. We are headquartered out of Rome, out of Vatican City, and the Pope is at the head. And we also have, cardinals, bishops, and dioceses here in the United States and all over the world. But we're your pretty typical Catholics.
Okay.
So,
I thought so.
If you were to see a church,
Yeah, I think there's actually one right around in this neighborhood that I live in. I mean, as a New Englander, as a very Irish New Englander, my faith in like genealogy is all kind of tied together.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I get it, just from a much more pale angle.
I'm gonna go over here where there's fewer children. Not gone completely, but probably fewer.
It's all good. Whatever works for you. Now, what practices do you find to be especially meaningful in your personal walk with Jesus?
So for me, I do the Catholic liturgy of the hours. That's something that I do every day, and it calls us to pray. It depends on how serious you are about it, between 3 and 5 times per day, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and stopping your work during the day. And so for me, that's actually the most meaningful for my personal life. So it actually gets me to stop 3 times a day, whatever I'm doing, whether it's drinking coffee or ending my day, I actually stop and do this prayer. And it happens every day. And I have a reminder on my phone that tells me to do it. And whether I'm feeling great or I'm feeling terrible or my walk with Christ is wonderful today or it's terrible, I still do this same thing. But also having, like, with my kids, that has made a huge difference in my life, because now I'm trying to teach them, and they're asking the questions and they're participating in life. And so in Catholic life. So that has actually been a huge change in how I view my religion, because now I have to get it down to the very basic level to answer questions that get screamed at me in the middle of the Mass.
Yeah, I feel that. So Nancy says, when children are born within 18 months of each other, they are considered Irish twins. Since Emily's first 2 were a set of twins, she has Irish triplets. Life's life, and
we'll get it right.
It's all good. I mean, I'm honestly doing this episode against medical advice. Because my doctor's like, oh, you're not allowed to sit down. I'm like, well,
I just went to mute my phone to cough, and now here I am.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm the problem. Don't be sorry.
Now, you mentioned a little bit about this, so for those of you who don't know or who haven't been guests, I do have a little kind of interview form on the thing. So if you're in a space to talk about this right now, you're like, I have questions. If you're not, that's totally valid and we can scoot past it. But how did your infertility journey shape your relationship with God and with your husband?
That was a very difficult thing. That was probably the biggest trial that I have been through, my marriage has been through, my faith has been through. I was really, really lucky to have an incredibly faithful doctor who pulled me through, sometimes kicking and screaming, pulled my husband through, sometimes kicking and screaming. And it's one of those things that you never anticipate happening when you get married. You just think, oh, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have kids. But we really tried for 8 years without any success. Yeah. And it turns out I had this horrible case of endometriosis that had done some real damage inside, and I had to have surgery. But then now I have a bunch of whatever's going on out there. But it really did. It's probably the most meaningful incident in my life up until last December when I had an ectopic pregnancy. But it really did. It challenged me in every way, and it forced me to submit to God in ways that I was not comfortable with previously, because you're just leaving things in His hands and you're saying, look, the Catholic Church has lots of rules about fertility and IVF and abortion and contraception. And so you really are not allowed to do a lot of the traditional things because you can't create life in a petri dish. You
Absolutely.
cannot. And so we had to work around that. We had to pray around it. Mary, we have, Mother Mary is a huge part of the Catholic faith because we think of her as our own mother, because she's Christ's mother, but also that, she advocates for her children to her son. And we have a Mary Undoer of Knots, where we pray to Mary to help us feel comfortable with knots in our lives and to undo them in our life. And so for me, that became a really familiar prayer. And so I had to draw closer because I had nothing. I had to rely on stuff. And it's never easy when you have to just let go.
Yeah. Obviously from a different angle, but I definitely do feel that.
Yeah.
I'm like death grip on every aspect.
I control everything in my life, and I demand that I am always in control. And then you run into this thing where God's like, nope.
And then you're like, okay,
Right.
God, like,
fine.
I mean, I have this running joke with my friends where I never pray for patience because I don't like the outcome of that prayer.
You never want to pray for something you don't want to actually get. The truth of the matter is, like, I wanted kids and I was willing to do whatever it took. And then some days I'm just like, what? I was fine. It was fine. But then, obviously they're amazing. But like, you have to be willing to take the answers to your prayers, whatever those are.
Absolutely. No, do you have any wisdom or encouragement you could share with those facing the brutal battle that is infertility?
Keep the faith. Don't listen to people who tell you that children are only doled out to deserving people, or there's always people that will tell you bad advice. And whether it's wanting kids or wanting marriage or wanting any of those things, sometimes it's just in God's time and there's nothing you can do about it. And there's a plan, and we are human beings and we don't know the end of the story. So you just have to keep pushing forward. And that's one of the reasons that I force myself to pray so many times a day, is because every day, like, some days are great. And some days I have PTSD and it's really tough for me to get out of bed. And so you have to make time for it and make it a habit, because you'll do it even when you don't want to.
I think that, honestly, I'm like, so far, like, I'm coming away with, like, I'm going to do that practice and I'm going to look up that saint. I don't know about all y'all, but I'd probably, like, grab some notes.
I always have people, like, in group chats, like, with my friends who are like, what's the patron saint of this? I need help. You're not even Catholic. What are you going to do?
Oh. Now, at the end of, that battle, what was it like for you emotionally, spiritually, all of those things? What was it like welcoming your children into this world?
It was crazy. It's still crazy. It's still something that I don't truly believe. Just because you kind of block a lot of things from your memory. So every day it's amazing. And often it gets you through some of the harder parts of parenting, because you're like, I tried really hard for this. I worked really hard for this. And, some days are not going to be great. So it does sometimes get you through that thankfulness that you need to have when, like, some, 3 people are screaming at you at the same time because something's gone wrong in their tiny lives.
Yeah, I definitely feel that from a different angle because when it came to relationships and relationship stuff, sometimes I still don't believe my husband is like my husband. I keep having like this reoccurring nightmare that I wake up in my old childhood bedroom.
Um,
I'm like, huh? What? No, okay, this is my apartment. I am here. Okay.
yeah.
I'll just like randomly walk up to my husband and poke him. Because like I have like really bad like PTSD with some stuff in that realm of things too. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Something funny happened. I don't know.
Nice. I love funny things. They're the best. Especially if they're watching Bluey. Like tons of fun things are
I think
gonna
it's
happen there.
Daniel Tiger right now.
Oh, okay.
There was like an incident there today that, Daniel Tiger, we need to be watching Daniel Tiger because somebody needs to calm down.
Okay. Daniel Tiger's awesome. I love. Doesn't he have like a calm song or something?
He does. And my children use it against me. So there's like a calm song about counting to 4, take a deep
Mhm.
breath and count to 4. And then I'll come like raging out, like, you guys, what did you do to my bathroom? They're like, when you feel so mad that you wanna roar. And like, I should probably murder you, but this is hilarious. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Like I think the taking that aspect in stride is going to be somewhat hard for me when I get to motherhood, but also my husband's always like finding little things to make fun of me for. And to be like, it's okay, smile, calm down. He's the only man that can tell me to calm down who I don't want to like punch in the
You
face.
don't want to strike them.
Yes.
Well, my problem is that, like, when you have kids, you
Mhm.
really do create tiny versions of yourself that you then train. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, if I'm like that, and I am like that,
Yeah.
my husband can definitely tell you that I'm like that. I've created 3 more of me that just do nothing but give it back to me all day long. So, like, I'm just owned by tiny versions of myself all day, every day.
The cutest little mirrors.
They're the worst.
Now, I loved this question. I think this one might have come from Jess. But how do you make your faith known to your children?
We are really open about it. So our approach to our kids was we didn't want them to grow up hating being Catholic.
Mhm.
I think you see so much now, like people deconstructing, and my
Yeah,
parents
absolutely.
made me do this, and um, I just want to make it as fun and as enjoyable and as open and transparent as possible. So when they ask questions, they get answers to them. I mean, they're not always the best questions, like, did Jesus poop? I don't really know. I mean, I think he did. He was human, so
I mean, it would make
it would
sense.
make sense. And that's the theological level of questioning we get right now. But as they get older, we want them to know that, it's always acceptable to come to us with a question of faith. And
Yeah.
we try to make church as fun and as easy for them as possible. So they go to church every week. They sit in the same place. We always sit up front so they can see. And we always try to take the like weird stuff in stride. So
Mhm.
if they're
Yeah.
gonna sing the monster truck song as the priest is coming in, they're gonna sing the monster truck song. All right, that's fine. But then we find out that they think about Jesus, and they think
Mhm.
about being Catholic, and they think about the saints in their daily lives, and we see it happen in a natural way.
Mhm.
And so just trying to make it as fun and entertaining as possible. Like for us, Advent is supposed to be a season of quiet and
Mhm.
calm and waiting, and we're just about to embark on the most fun thing. We're going to put a big paper tree on the wall, and we're going to do the
Nice.
Deathy tree every day, and
That's awesome.
um, so hopefully they just remember that, the core memory is something that they appreciated and loved.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I really like that you do with your kids is that not only do you make it entertaining for them, but you also make it entertaining, like, on a grander level. Like, currently, I'm living, absolutely living for the priest reviews. They are just they're amazing. So, one of the questions was, "When will we get more? Like, please tell me that we're going to get more. We
So
need
we
it."
definitely are going to get more.
Okay.
So we just started. We bought them. They've been to mass a few
Mhm.
times. They expressed some interest in what was going on. So we bought them a whole mass kit, and
Okay,
we let them do mass in the living room. And so you can go
okay.
back on my Twitter feed and find like It's questionable.
Oh wait, yeah. Actually, I saw that.
It's all very theologically questionable, but like we let them do it, and so now they get to bring some of those mass pieces. And so at the end of the mass, now they're like, was that good? Was that bad? Did Father Eric do a good job? Did and they're very interested, and they tell me, they give a whole rundown when we get home. They prefer the deacon to the priest. That was our last.
Yeah.
But they like it when Father Eric goes short and he talks a lot about Jesus. So he did an excellent job. He got a 10 out of 10 last week. So
nice. Way to go.
I will continue to update you as
That's
the
awesome.
mass happens.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I created like a little communion emote. I was like, I have some more Catholics in my channel to make a communion emote. You last night. So we're baby Christians. I think we're like at the stage. My husband, can correct me on this, but we're like kind of Protestant-ish. And so I was trying to explain at like midnight, because we hadn't gotten a chance to do our Bible reading with a bunch of doctor's appointments and everything. I was trying to explain transubstantiation to him, which is like, why would I try to do that at midnight?
I won't even try to do that when I'm like fully sober at 8 a.m. Like, yeah.
So that was like one thing that, if you guys want to at me on Twitter and explain that, that'd be great. Because we were reading John 6 and we were like laughing how like the Pharisees were like, wait, Jesus is a cannibal? What? Yeah. So that's where we're currently at in our family study.
It gets to be a lot. I get these questions too. Jesus is in the bread. Jesus is here right now. Where's Jesus? I want to say hi. I want to give him a hug. I'm like, oh, okay. And then why can't I take the bread? There's a lot of like these little, you never realize how complicated these things get. You just kind of take them at face value. And then if I have something that I need to know, then I'll go to Scott Hahn or another writer and learn. But then I have to explain it to a 2-year-old. So it gets like, it gets complicated real quick.
Oh my gosh, we're both wearing stripes, Maggie.
Check it out.
Oh my gosh, I'm like low-key twinning with the coolest girl ever.
Oh God, everyone's here now.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Guys, go to the living room.
Go in the living room. Dessert.
Dessert in the living room.
Hey, chicken.
No, we got that. Hey, chicken. Okay.
Hey, chicken.
Hey, chicken.
That's his joke of the day.
Chicken.
We taught him
Come on, guys.
what's chicken butt. Guess what? Chicken butt.
I love teaching my nephew that. My sister-in-law did not appreciate it nearly as
And
much as
now
I did.
that's all day, every day. All day, every day. It's chicken butts, chicken thighs.
I have a joke for them. What do you call? Do you guys want to hear a joke?
Do you want to hear a joke? Do you want to hear a joke?
Yeah.
What do you call a bug on the moon?
What do you call a bug on the moon?
Chicken.
A chicken? No, unlikely.
A lunatic. Because luna means moon. And a tick is a type of bug. So you call them a lunatic.
You can go and tell your class that tomorrow. You will report back.
Awesome. That was my favorite joke as a child. It's like, I think I read it off a popsicle stick back in the day. But I would just always be like yelling like, lunatic.
What's a chicken on the moon? You just made that up.
What is a chicken on the moon?
Daddy has a brownie for you. Go eat a brownie.
Okay, but like, can you get back to me what a chicken on the moon is? I need to know.
What is a chicken on the moon?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, you got to know the end of the joke before you.
Wait. Okay.
Okay.
I got one.
You got a funny one.
Okay.
Okay. Chicken food.
Chicken poop just itself is not funny. Okay, whatever.
I mean, it's funny as a concept, not so funny when you stop in it.
It's not as funny like when you don't set it up right.
So, how do you raise such iconic kids and nurture their amazing personalities? Because they're chef's kiss. You're doing a great job.
I don't know. I wish I could have some sort of parenting philosophy that would turn out this, but I don't know. I think just having a sense of humor about everything, and we let them just be themselves mostly. We don't try to judge.
That's awesome.
The other problem with that, though, there is a drawback. But, hey, turn that back on. Is that now we have like 1 million children in our neighborhood, and we are the fun house.
Yeah.
And so no matter what I do, I can't get rid of kids. They're always here. And so it has its drawbacks, but I think you just gotta roll with it. Is mostly what
That's my dream. My dream is to be the fun house. Like, lifelong dream for me right there.
I wish that I could explain how it happens, because would you cut that out? No. All right. You're banned.
No light show. Come on.
You're banned. I wish I could explain how it happens, but I really don't know. There was one day that I made cookies, and then that was it. It just happened.
Nice. Now, what is the best and what is the worst parenting advice you've ever received?
The best parenting advice I think I ever got was just to go with the flow. And nothing is forever. Every season changes. Whenever they do something you don't like, 2 days later they're a different person, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
They're just tiny humans trying to live their lives. And so the best thing you can do is just understand that they're just human too. The worst parenting advice, the parenting advice I always hate is like the people who say, oh, you only get 18 summers, you'll miss this kind of stuff. Like, yeah, that's true. But you don't have to kill yourself to always be everywhere and everybody and everything all the time. It just kind of, you're going to miss stuff. You're going to miss stuff. And from a therapy perspective, like there are things that my parents did that probably have a lasting impact on me that they don't even know that they did. So maybe successful enough that they can afford the therapy is just the way that I go about my day.
I'm trying to break like the cycles that were a part of my family, like so much, well, still knowing we're gonna end up like, I think it's like literally a biblical rule that generational curses take 4 years to, like 4 generations to break.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that that's probably very similar with like the therapeutic, like generational cycles aspect of things.
And there's so much different now than there was when I was growing up. Like the things that my kids encounter now are totally different. I'm really glad I didn't grow up in the era of social media.
Same.
And so like they're gonna have a whole new set of problems. So I just gotta do the best I can because I have no idea. Yeah. I've lived my life online. I've lived their lives online. And so I think it's gonna be totally different for them growing up.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because at least when I was getting like cyberbullied or whatever in middle school, because I think there's a couple years between us. At least I could get off the computer. Like I could unplug the modem. Yeah. And I could like
you can leave it behind.
Yeah. It's not living in your pocket. It's not living everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the good, the bad, and the ugly, like social media is.
Yeah, it's good. It's given them the ability. They love it. Now they'll go and get the ring light because they want to take a picture of me for everybody. Let's I'm trying to cook something and they're grabbing the ring light and shoving it in my face. Like, we gotta do it. We gotta do the cooking. I can't do it every time. I have no makeup on today.
Yeah.
Get your finger out of your nose,
but you still look incredible, if I may say.
Thank you.
Now, one of the questions that came in: lizard, bear, tortoise, whatever, but usually it was a giant dinosaur. Some people in chat are telling me some of their favorite little jokes that are like making me for thinking about jokes.
Send them all to me. Put them on Twitter. I'll keep my kids laughing for
I will.
ages.
So one of them was, my little brother always said chicken bread, and when we responded, chicken bread who? It was always chicken bread eaten up by a giant, either lizard, bear, tortoise, or whatever, but normally it was a giant dinosaur.
Okay. That sounds plausible here, actually. They love chicken jokes. So
Chicken jokes are awesome.
No,
I love chicken jokes. Oh, I also loved The Little Red Hen growing up. Have they read that book yet?
they have not read that book yet, and we're gonna get chickens in the spring to put behind our
Nice.
house. So I think we're gonna be chicken crazy. We did
Mhm.
get a 9-foot inflatable chicken as our Christmas decoration.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Have you
Maybe I
posted it on
should
Twitter? I need to see it. I'm so
We
gonna
put
see
a more like they would have put it up right out of the car, but we said
it. Mhm.
we're gonna go to Grandma's for Thanksgiving. When we get back, you can put up your chicken. So don't worry, it will be fully documented.
Nice. Hey.
Hey, you're the shy one. You don't usually talk, so I don't know what your deal is.
Oh. But yeah, I try to like hold back like Christmas things a little bit, but full disclosure, I was drinking my peppermint mocha this morning. And if you guys want to know where you guys can get peppermint mocha as well, do you want a delicious brew that shares your values too? Look no further than North Arrow Coffee. North Arrow Coffee is a pro-life veteran-owned business that I am proud to have as a sponsor. Not only do they have a delicious, superior product, they also pledge to donate at least 15% of their sales to organizations that support and advocate for the preborn, help families facing crisis pregnancies, and offer healing to those who have been affected by abortion in a gospel-centered way. Order North Arrow Coffee today. You can do so by going to northarrowcoffee.co, and when you use code FREDA, F-R-E-D-A, you'll save 10% off your first order. So
I
yes.
don't know.
What?
I don't know what's that.
You don't know what's that? It's a coffee maker. Coffee pods. You know what a coffee pod is. You make coffee every morning.
I
You
make
make
coffee
coffee every
every
morning?
morning
They
too.
fight each other over who gets to make the Keurig coffee. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I want to make pumpkin
Pumpkin
spice
spice coffee.
Pumpkin spice is so good.
These guys are pumpkin spice connoisseurs. They do not like all pumpkin spice. They're very picky.
Yes. As they should be. I was out and about and I had to go to one of the places near me for coffee, pumpkin spice, and the normal white girl places did not cut it this year, and I was very sad.
There was some very big concern because the Target pumpkin spice Keurig cups were not as good as they wanted them to be.
Yeah, that's devastation right there. Oh. Meanwhile, I live in a house with a man who hates pumpkin, and I'm still trying to come to grips with that 10 years later. But
can you guys go play hockey with applesauce in the living room? No. Okay.
Did you know that God is Popeye? When Moses asked what name he should use for God, the reply was, "I am what I am." Oh, we have the best chat.
I can't get it.
So when it comes to cooking, what are some helpful tips for parents who see you cooking with your adorable little ones and want to start that in their own home?
Just know that number one, you need a lot of patience. Start small. We started with some really easy stuff, and I started really young. So the very first things they were doing in the kitchen were making chicken nuggets or learning how to just touch things, smell things, understand things. People ask me, do they get hurt? Yeah, they do get hurt. You kind of have to take that with the territory. We don't let them touch knives. That is our one rule. They can stir pots. They can do whatever. But just start them as early as possible and involve them in everything you can. Try the foolproof recipes. So making your own chicken nuggets, making your own apple with peanut butter, or snacks at the end of the day. And there are some days where I can't handle it.
Yeah.
So if I do not want, I've overstimulated, or I know my life, so I know that I'm going to lose it on somebody. I don't do it every day. I do it when I'm ready for it. And when they're ready for it and they're in good moods. And they've had a really great time. I should note that they don't always eat the things they cook. Getting kids to cook is easy. Getting kids to eat is not easy. So I would say we have about a 50% success rate for food in this house, which is good. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's better than some, kiddos I know.
And everybody here really likes chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. It's just the way it is. They're four.
Same.
I love it. So I'm like, I can't hold it against them.
Exactly.
Carbs all day, I would do it too.
What are some of your favorite places to get recipes? Because I know that I've been on like a little bit of a TikTok like trendy meal kick lately, and my favorite recipe from there is like you layer waffle fries and then you layer popcorn chicken, like, and then you layer mac and cheese, and then you bake it in the oven for like, so you make it separate like in an air fryer. And I'm lazy, so I make like the Annie's organic like mac and cheese cups in my microwave, and then I like throw it all on top of like a bread pan, and I throw that in the oven, and then I eat it with Chick-fil-A sauce. And my husband has like, I think he eats it with ranch, or like it changes every time for him, but we call it like Chick-fil-A casserole. It's like easy, but every part of it's like a little bit involved, so it's like one of those things. But it's so good.
So weirdly enough, I actually did not grow up cooking. My mom cooked. We were not allowed in the kitchen. I know what the final product tastes like often, but I don't know how to get there. And so what I kind of started doing is I grew up, I got married right at the peak of Food Network. Like when it was just starting out, and so I bought you can see behind me, I have tons of cookbooks.
Nice.
My favorites are Barefoot Contessa and Giada De Laurentiis, like the very early ones. And I started Yeah, you can poop in my bathroom, that's fine. Oh my god.
It's all good.
Anyway,
it's all good.
I'm gonna have to go clean my bathroom after this. So I started out with just like really basic recipes that I thought that I could do, and things like chicken piccata, chicken cacciatore, my own breaded chicken, and I just tried to learn as best that I could. And I was home a lot because I was working from home in 2009 and 2010 when I got married, and so my husband would leave during the day, and I would be stuck in my apartment. Trying to work, but also really lonely. And so I started cooking. Now, I just figure out what I'd like to eat and then try to find the best recipe for it. I find like the New York Times, I don't like it as a paper, but I love it as a cooking resource because it's always got the best recipes for everything. I look for 5-star recipes, and then I also enjoy the TikTok trending recipes. I have eaten Marry Me Chicken approximately 10 times in the last like 6 weeks because everybody will eat it and likes it. So if it's trending and people like it, I usually try it because it means it's probably pretty good.
Kyle, find that recipe for me after the show.
It's so good. And you can spicy too if you like spicy.
Ooh. I've been on a spicy kick lately and I have no idea why. Because normally I'm Irish, okay? Like I grew up in like a very Irish household where like they didn't even roast the vegetables.
Pepper is too much.
So I've been like very much like getting my full shelf of like seasonings and like my favorite one is smoked paprika, and it's probably weird that like I have a favorite seasoning, but I use that so much.
Are you opening wine? What are you doing? With a cookie scooper. All right, so I don't have to worry about he's actually going to get it over. So that's okay. I also happen to love food. I happen to like have some sort of psychotic? No. Psychological. Perhaps it's psychotic.
It depends on the day.
I associate food with life.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
grew up in kitchens that were warm and inviting and always smelled of food. And there was always something, I'm Italian. If you're coming to my house, I'm going to feed you because that's the way we do things.
Yeah.
And so just having that love of food and knowing that, like, there's an experience there. And that's kind of how I try to What?
Did he get it open?
No, he didn't. There was another cork somewhere. Now you see what this is my whole day. I try to do like writing, I try to do Twitter, and then somebody's like streaking through my house without me.
Yeah.
So.
My husband in the chat goes, my husband in the chat, he's like, he's trying to get wasted. Oh, I have this core memory of being told about my mom getting like wasted for the first time when she was 3. My grandma Freda, she used to like take all their clothes apart and put them back like, and then use that as a pattern to sew them together. And then she'd go and like do shows at the Plaza Hotel in New York because she was like pretty good at it. And my mom got into like the thing of like 3 roses that like you spiked punch.
Oh my god!
She was like rolling around and doing somersaults in like the grand like ballroom, and like off the stage and everything. And like, if I'm not like, I'm very much my mother's daughter.
So for here, like we have a bar that's right in the middle of the kitchen, and we use it to cook, and they're familiar with wine, and growing up, you're Italian. I had wine in my little cup. Like as soon as you could hold the cup, they would give you ice water, and then they'd put a little wine in it to make it colored so that you could drink it with all the adults. You feel very sophisticated.
Yeah.
So it holds no mystery to me. And clearly it holds no mystery to them because they're just like popping bottles here in the kitchen.
But I mean, honestly, I feel like that's a really great approach to do it. I mean, at least from the people I've seen who have been around like drinking and like who have been around like alcohol and like they know what it is. It's not like some special sacred thing.
It's not special. It's
where
right
like
here the whole time.
Exactly. Yeah. Where they're like stealing their parents like liquor when they're like 14. Because it's like, oh, that's that. This is that. Okay, whatever.
There's no rules. As long as there's lots of rules here, but like there's no rules.
Exactly.
All right. You good? Okay.
You good? Okay.
I can't find one.
You had an applesauce that you were using to play hockey on the table. It's here somewhere.
Is it under the table, maybe?
It could be under the table. It could be on one of the chairs.
I don't see
Happens to me.
You don't see it. This happens all the time. This is like a regular problem, right? We can't find our applesauce.
Yeah. I mean, that's a daily mood for me. I love applesauce.
It would fit in great here.
So my aunt used to try to like make me have like applesauce with grilled cheese, but I thought for some reason when I was 5 that it was like a dunkable thing, and that stayed for me. And everybody thinks I'm like so weird with that.
Hey, I grew up putting ranch dressing on pizza. So
that sounds good.
And that was like a Midwest thing, and I still do it, and my kids do it.
Get it.
Go give it to Daddy. Let Daddy do this. He's just sitting on the sofa. Don't come to me to do it. Oh my gosh.
Because your mom, you're the one.
Mom, I'm the problem
Emily
solver.
Zanotti.
Little did he know.
So how do you keep your marriage romantic while being a parent?
We go. I know this is controversial on the internet, but we do a lot of date nights. It's only become controversial the last couple of days, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
literally everything is controversial.
We've always wanted to have fun together. We've always enjoyed it. Now we live in a city. We live in Nashville where there's live music everywhere you go. So, like last week we went out to Broadway and we spent $18 on bologna sandwiches and a PBR, and we watched a couple of bands, and it's just really fun. So we just kind of continue to try to do things together that we liked before kids, and that's about the best advice I can say. Because
I mean, that's solid.
Yeah, it's solid.
Honestly, full transparency, that's one of my biggest fears. Is that like, because I know I'm gonna love that little baby of mine.
Yeah.
Whether, no matter what that situation looks like for me. But I'm terrified that like it'll just be like all baby all the time for like 18 years.
It's not. It's great actually. Like, it's been great now that my kids. We find that the more we do with them, the better they are when they do the things. So now they go to restaurants now because I was like, I don't want to give up going to restaurants.
Yeah.
So we took them to restaurants and we continued to take them and they continued to be terrible. And then one day they were like, no, we actually understand the whole concept and we can order our own food. Because really, first and foremost, beyond anything else, mother is an identity. You are still a person. And your husband is still a person. And you still got married to that person. Yeah. And you can't serve your kids if your marriage is falling apart. Exactly. So for us, it's like, we don't even think twice about it. We know that we need to do this thing for us. And that may look different for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So for us, it's specific date nights. For other people, it might just be hanging out at home. We love our favorite thing to do, actually, is Saturday nights. We order Chinese food and we watch Svengoolie. So we watch some terrible 1960s or 1970s horror movie together.
Nice.
This is something that we do.
That's awesome.
We've grown to love it. So you never know where life takes you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sometimes Kyle and I, we like we put the TV on mute and we just like make up what they're saying. Or if he's like super burnt out with like busy season at work, we just watch like anchor news bloopers.
Yeah, that's what we do. Sometimes we'll just like sit. We don't want to talk because it's just been so loud in our days. Yeah. And so we'll sit next to each other and send like funny videos of cats falling or like, just something happening to kind of feel connected a little bit.
Yeah, just trying to get all those chemicals serotonin in.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel that.
And also pray together as often as you can.
Yeah. Every time he prays, I fall a little bit more in love with him. And I didn't know that was possible because we've been together for so long. Like, I just keep like finding new reasons to fall in love with him. And I'm like, how? Like, I thought I like loved you like all of this huge, big much. Like, how was there more?
Just wait until whatever parenthood looks like for you. That's when it really gets intense. Yeah. Because you like it's one thing to fall in love with a person. It's another thing to fall in love with that person as a parent. Because you get to see this whole new side of them. And with my kids, I think the first two, we had prayed for them for so long and we got them and it was wonderful. But they were boys.
Yeah.
And so there was, it's fine. Once we had a girl, man, my husband just forgot that anything else existed.
Yeah.
He could ask him to get the moon for him and he would try. What's up?
Maggie's better now.
Maggie's better now? All right, great. News update.
That was awesome. I'm glad.
Breaking news.
I'm rooting for all of them all of the time. And you and your husband.
Who said that?
Hallie.
Hallie said that? Okay, our neighbor.
Oh,
Our neighbor also said.
Okay, that's good.
I'm so sorry.
Life is lifing. Like, I'm honored that you made the time. I'm so glad to, get to talk to you and get to know you better. And I love your kids. Like, they're awesome. They're like super rad. They're my little brothers and sisters in Christ. And they're amazing. And I really hope my kids turn out to be like super cool like their kids are. Honestly.
I'll try my best to impart my wisdom, but right now.
Thank you. Now, speaking of loving your significant other as a parent, what particular parenting win of your husband's are you especially proud of?
What's a parenting win we're especially proud of? James, what's a parenting win that we're especially proud of? Our kids have never bitten anybody. Huh? What? Yeah, no, I got that we had children, but once we've parented the kids, what's our biggest win? Surviving the first 6 months, he says. Also, mine was nobody's bitten anybody.
That's more than my mom could say for me, unfortunately. I used to be a biter, okay? Breaking news, guys.
They all go to bed together. They like each other. Our kids like each other.
That's so important. That's
and
really
they
beautiful.
operate as a unit, so it's
Aw.
kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah, I can see like the pros and cons of that
Yeah.
all together.
We just, for the first time a couple days ago, we got the question of, can we add to this? Is there another kid we could get somewhere? So this has been an interesting week. They're ready to add to their team. I don't know if we're ready, but they're ready.
Well, that answers that question that a couple people asked me. They're like, new Zanotti? When?
New kids.
Oh.
I don't know. We had a rough time of it last year.
Yeah.
With a loss, and a lot of it's been recovery since then. But like I said, we were always waiting. Like when you talk about prayer and discernment, one of the best things that somebody ever told me was like discerning if somebody's missing. Is somebody missing in this house? Is somebody missing? Asking God, is somebody missing? So far we haven't heard that yet, but we've been working through some other stuff. And
is that how you knew when you were ready to start like trying to conceive that you felt somebody was missing?
We felt somebody was missing. Like something is missing in this.
Yeah.
And it took a long time, but when we first had our kids, like the twins, we were like, God intended these two to be with us and to be here and to be together. I don't think they would have survived by themselves or at any other time in our lives. It was like the right kids at the right time. So,
because that's how it very much felt right before I went off my IUD, which I know is a controversial thing and there's mixed emotions about it. But I went off all birth control, and because my husband and I, we went up to visit my sister-in-law, and then my sister-in-law's sister-in-law was there, and she also had a kid, and my sister-in-law has two under 5 years old, and yeah, she was like doing a no, probably shouldn't tell you that. I'll tell you that later. It's a funny story, but I don't know if she'd appreciate me sharing it with everybody. And we like looked around and we're like, we're the oldest people here, but we're also the only ones that don't have kids. And then we went off things, like we talked about it, we prayed about it, I went off things, and then it was like, okay, like when that time comes, we're open to it.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too, bud.
Oh,
Stuff like that happens. So yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of how we roll in life. Is just whatever happens.
Yeah. That's how my husband and I very much are too.
Yeah.
And then I did want to read a win from the chat. Miss Melody did potty training. So way to go, girl. That's amazing.
Right.
That's so awesome.
What's happening here? Always chaos. There's no
life is
butts
life
inside the cookie jar. I promise there's no butts. All right, sorry.
Wait, there's no butts or there's no
No
butts?
butts. No
Okay.
butts.
Well, that's good. You don't want to get cookie butt.
You know what?
You don't want to get butts on your cookie.
Butts in your cookies. Like, I don't. Doesn't make any sense.
I can't fit.
Okay. All right. All right.
Is he trying to fit his butt in there now?
No.
No? Okay.
Head of the dinosaur onto the bottom of the dinosaur. It was not working.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
You feel better now that you had some pizza and some brownie? Yeah, life is
Me
good.
too. That's good.
And M&M's?
Ooh, you had
I'm
M&M's? Nice.
bribing you to stay quiet, huh?
Well, thank you so much for making a cameo, girlie. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Hi. Hi.
Yeah, we know you're here.
Hey.
Okay, bye. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Chat wants to know, where did you get the dinosaur cookie jar?
Target. No,
Okay.
thrift store via Target. Like Target, it's Target brand. And
Okay. Makes
we
sense.
found it at thrift store. But I think they might still have it at Target.
Okay. Chat, specifically Nancy, are all saying hi to the kiddos. and saying how wonderful it is to see you in such a cozy, wholesome environment, and that they're so happy that you have these precious little ones, and they love the sounds of the children's laughter and their, little chaos and everything.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Oh. Now, want to talk about matchmaking or just because?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now, first things first, how did you meet your husband?
It's actually, I met him in school.
Oh, okay.
I used to get to law school at like 6 or 7 a.m. to study before my first class at 8. And so when I would get there, I would make all of the coffee.
Okay.
So there were these big air pots. There was like a student coffee lounge. And so I was there early, and I would just make the pots of coffee. And everybody would be super grateful and thankful that there was this coffee. And then there was this one jerk who would come in with his own coffee maker and make his own coffee.
Mr. Fancy Man.
And then I married him.
Oh.
That's how I met. Technically, we met at a Halloween party. Like, I actually learned who he was, and but that's how I knew him. Was like the annoying coffee guy.
So, what were your guys' costumes when you met? Like when you
he was
figured
a
out
vampire. He was a vampire, and I was Wednesday Addams.
Nice. Very fitting. I love it.
You're Pikachu for Halloween, yeah. Marshall from Paw Patrol. Yeah.
Nice. Marshall's awesome. He's the fire one, right?
He's the firefighter.
Okay,
Yeah. Firefighting Dalmatian. Yeah. Marshall. Yeah.
I have he just turned 5. I have a 5-year-old nephew. So.
Oh yeah, prime Paw Patrol time. Yeah.
I'm in the now. Now, what does that look like to be a matchmaker, and how does that process work?
So I've been on a little bit of a hiatus from it for a while because we had so many things that just like went wrong at the same time. I'm sorry. I have always been a matchmaker. I've really enjoyed it. I've always tried to be putting people together. And so it's just sort of a natural process. It's something that I try to do as often as I can. For me, it was, it's still out there, and it's still something that I do. I do it more privately now. But we will go back to it at some point.
Okay.
The chaos of the last 6 months were a little bit too much, but it is a fun process, and I love getting to know people and putting people together. And it seems like it's something that's needed more than ever now because people seem to just not be able to connect. And you have all of this resentment and sadness and loneliness that is just really hard to overcome.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I have some white pill single friends. I have some black pill single friends. Thankfully, I don't have any red pill single friends because they wouldn't be my friends.
That would be hard.
Yeah. I have some that are stuck on Daily Wire personalities, which is a long thing.
That is tough.
Yeah.
They are not free. We're single.
Exactly.
Very nice people. Excellent people. But
yeah. So when it comes to green flags, what are your green flags for young men, and what about for young women?
I think green flags all around are sense of humor. If you can laugh and you can laugh at yourself, you will be better at life, just generally. So for me, green flags are always just somebody that's kind and is willing to talk and can feel comfortable with, but also at the same time can laugh at themselves, treats people who can do nothing for them very well. I've always judged people by how they treat waitresses, how they treat baristas, how they treat people who can do nothing for them. And that to me, if you're treating the wait staff nice, and I've been the wait staff, so I know, if you're treating them nice, I think you're just going to be a good human generally. So.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Those were some of my criteria when I was in the dating market. What about red flags? KG Carney on Twitter asked that one specifically. They're like, what do I need to be on the guard for?
Specifically, I would early on ask who they look up to, who they listen to. I think that's become such a huge thing for me now, is knowing who people follow. I also think I look for a relationship with God.
Yeah.
I think that's a personal thing, but if they don't have a relationship with God, if they aren't thinking about people, if they aren't thinking about others who are, people other than themselves, I think that
Yeah.
is a huge red flag for me. If they treat people badly, if they don't have a good relationship with their parents, I think that's a really tough one too.
I got apple sauce.
You can always call Ted. Ted will assess people for you.
Okay. Good to know.
Hey, Mama.
What?
I got applesauce in the
There's applesauce in the dinosaur now? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Does the dinosaur like applesauce?
Does he like applesauce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat it.
He eated it. Huh?
Nice.
Okay. I think he'd prefer a brownie, though. Do you want to give him your brownie?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Aw,
You're gonna give him your
sharing is
brownie? That's really
caring.
sweet.
What a
Okay.
sweetheart. Aw.
Oh, wait, no, he's going to get another brownie. He's not sharing his.
I mean, valid.
I feel it. I understand.
One of the questions in chat is, what is the criteria for using your matchmaking services?
So right now, you have to be a personal friend right now. However, if you reach out to me directly, I can usually help.
Okay.
So never be afraid to just ask me a question. My DMs are open on every platform. So I don't have basic criteria. It's easier for me to do Catholics than anybody else.
What about
But-
Anglicans? My friend is an Anglican and she describes herself as Catholic light.
Okay, we can try.
Okay.
So whatever.
Sorry, she's gonna like call me and murder me lately.
So that's basically the criteria is,
Okay.
it helps if you live near a major city that I have friends in. But I have friends everywhere, so we'll see what I can do.
Okay. Awesome. Now, I loved this question when it came in. What do you think is the biggest thing wrong with the dating landscape today?
Dating apps. The internet. The internet was a mistake. I do tend to think that the hardest thing is that people can just swipe back and forth, and it's entirely on the first 4 seconds. And you never get to know people. You never get to understand people. You never get to meet people. And I always feel like the people miss out on so much because they just get to judge on that avatar. So to me, that's actually the worst part. And I think it drives a whole new system of superficiality because people start to think in terms of value and where do I fall, and there's so much tied into that, and self-esteem and self-confidence. So I think that's really tough for people.
Yeah, seeing like some people, like some women who I really admire, be like, oh, I think I'm a 6. I'm like, wait, if you're a 6, what the heck am I? Like, like what? And I think it's such an unhealthy like mental game that we're
So
like playing with ourselves. We're like, oh, I got to tick off for this. Oh, I got to tick off for this. Oh,
And especially for men, I think, because women are ruthless.
Oh,
they're ruthless.
Yeah.
And guys don't even get a shot. So I think it's even worse for guys. I think, and that's what drives so much of this like red pill stuff, and because it makes women into voracious swipers rather than I'm going to actually give this guy a chance.
I am so glad that I met my husband before dating apps got like really big. I think Tinder was just invented the year we met.
My husband asked me out on MySpace, so that'll date me on how old I am.
Thank you for doing likewise. I'm like, that sounds like an old people sentence.
MySpace. Yeah.
Oh. I feel like things were simpler back then, though.
So much easier.
Oh. So I see that you refer to yourself as a feminist. Which wave feminist are you and why?
I'm probably a no-wave feminist. I think I'm a feminist in the sense that I'm a Catholic feminist, and I stick up for women. I think especially sometimes women of faith get screwed over in all of this. So for me, that just means that I'm never going to tell my daughter she can't do anything. Just because I think we're so quick to define who we are and what we can be and what we want to do. And we're so quick to kind of put ourselves in boxes.
Yeah.
And to me, like, I'm so supportive of women just generally. I think women
Absolutely.
have so much to offer, and society just hasn't been very kind to women.
Yeah.
And to see sort of this misogyny reemerging from women by women is really hurtful to me, because I feel like there's so much out there that women contribute and women do. So I just feel like for me that means I'm a champion of women. I'm not a radical feminist by any stretch. I clearly enjoy the traditional life, but you know, it's one of those things where I think it's important to say that there is a term for it, and that term has been co-opted, and it's important to take that back.
Because that's why, like, I was curious. I'm like, she seems normal.
There's no purple hair under this.
Like, she doesn't have like her entire face pierced. She doesn't look like she comes from like a random tribe somewhere.
No,
with like all the I was like,
pretty normal anthropology. You know, it's very
So you're a girl's girl.
I'm a girl's girl for the most part. I mean, I'm like, we're baking bread here. It's not like it's not like we're out there, but I've been really blessed in my life to have some amazing friends who are women who have always held me up and been there for me. They're all moms, but they're all also doing these amazing things in the world. Which being a mom is the amazing thing you can do in the world. There's no question about that. But I'm blessed to have this group of people that back me up all the time. So that's all I ever want to do for anybody else, is just say, you deserve it. Keep going. You're amazing. And lift people up. So.
I can definitely see that. Like, you very much give off that vibe. That's why I was so excited to get to like meet you and interview you. And in the chat, Nancy says, "Bring Queen M to be the queen she was made to be." Yeah.
I don't know where she is. She knows she's a queen. This is nothing new. I'm just aspiring to that level of confidence. Right? She's very subdued right now because she's sick, but most of the time it's full gear.
We all, everybody in chat, myself included, we definitely really hope she feels better soon.
Aw, thank you.
Of course. I'll be praying for both of you.
We're working on it. I hope she feels better soon so I can not watch Frozen on repeat. But she's doing much better today than yesterday. So we're on the way back.
Does anybody in chat have any questions for Em? I'm gonna scroll through just to make sure I didn't like miss anything. Okay. Freda's cooking show is premiering when. If you guys want to totally absolutely judge me for some wild stuff, you can check out the YouTube where I like attempted to like do a couple cooking tutorials. But I don't know if I'd recommend that though.
I want to do this waffle thing though. I'm absolutely doing this. There's no question about it.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And plus that like you pretty much get to like set it, like go sit down, set it, go sit down for another 10 minutes. I mean, at least if you're like me and your air fryer and microwave are on the same circuit and you can't use them at the same time.
Oh, we need a bigger air fryer. That's what we've asked for Christmas, is like one of those double air fryers. Yeah. we're so like, this is the greatest invention known to man. Children can pour pizza rolls into it and make it for themselves.
Yeah, it's amazing. We love it so much. We made spanakopita last night with it.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. We did like that, and then the California Pizza Kitchen white pizza.
Oh.
And it was like, we get spinach, we get like a little bit of everything.
You got some vegetables there.
Yeah. My husband made both of them because I have not been feeling good either. Oh, my personal question. What do you think of The Bachelor / Bachelorette? Do you think it's possible to find love in that form?
I don't know. I continue to try to watch The Bachelorette. My husband is not a fan and will just sit there and complain about it the whole time. And he calls The Bachelor in Paradise 4 Island, so it's really hard to like concentrate when someone's doing that.
If he thinks that's bad, you should look at the new F-Boy Island. Have you seen that?
Oh, you want to show them Lucky Charms? They know what Lucky Charms are.
Yeah, I know what Lucky Charms are.
That's my favorite.
They are your favorite, yeah. I have the same sickness that Maggie does, and like every time I get worked up and excited, I start coughing. So I'm so sorry about that.
It's all good.
I don't know. I think it's possible. I would love to see them do it in a real way. Like, these people are always gorgeous. Like, everyone who goes on these shows are like 10s and beautiful.
Even with Golden Bachelor, like, damn, like, I don't even look that great as like a 20-something. Like, how do you look like that when you're 70?
I
like,
need
tell
to
me
know
your
a list
secrets.
of everything these women use, and I will do it. I will
absolutely.
do it. What?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Frosted Mini Wheats. We're having a tour of the cereal section.
What's your favorite cereal?
Lucky Charms.
I was absolutely obsessed when they made the Lucky Charms with Frosted Flakes. I could not get enough of it, but then they didn't make it anymore, and that makes me sad. I also really like the dinosaur oatmeal.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was invented when I was their age. So I was like, wait, the eggs that crack open? M&M's, yeah.
M&M's are a precious commodity in this house.
Yes. I mean, hey, like the doctor said you have to eat all the collars, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the questions in chat, I think it'll be our last one for this evening, is what's your favorite color?
Purple.
Like lavender or royal purple?
Royal purple. Oh my God, this is his favorite question. What is your favorite color?
Red! That's magnificent.
What's your favorite color?
That's my favorite color.
It's her favorite color too. She loves blue.
And Maggie's favorite color.
What's Maggie's favorite color?
Pink.
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 I'm sorry I asked such a silly question. So
you made his night.
That's awesome.
Like, you know, an elf.
Yeah.
The phone, Buddy the elf. What's your favorite color?
This is red.
He answers the phone. What's your favorite color? So if he's got the phone when you call, he'll go, this is Ted. What's your favorite color? Favorite question. So thank you to whomever.
Of course. That was actually my husband. So thank you for that. Thank you so much for coming on. I had an absolute blast talking to you.
Thank you for putting up with me, is what I should say.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence along with all of your precious little ones. It was truly a pleasure, truly an honor. And yeah, would you like to say a quick prayer to close us out, and then we can... Okay, thank you.
Dear God, we just thank you for the joy and the blessing of being able to be here today. Thank you so much for this show and our gracious hosts and our gracious audience and the understanding and love that they've shown for us. Please bless them and show your favor. And are you ready? Are you trying to pray with me? What do you want to say?
I want
Thank you, Jesus, for the gift of this day.
today.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
All chicken.
Yes, Jesus, thank you for the chickens.
Thank you for the chicken, Jesus.
Thank you for the chicken.
My husband and I jokingly call the apostles the possums because of the fact that one time he thought I was telling him when I was sick, he thought I was telling him that Jesus had possums. And so now we're just like, yup, his possum John.
I now need that for my wall. I should another time we'll take you on a tour of Emily's insane religious art. which is all over my
Sounds
wall
good.
at my house. But I now
I
need
actually
like
have
12
a meme of
boxes.
it. I will like literally send that to you.
I
I
need
will
it
text
now.
that to you.
I need it now.
Okay. And then feel free to text me anytime. Hang around while I do the show outro, and then I will talk to you in a second.
Sounds good.